Hey guys, Jessica here. I have to make this quick because my family's gathered around the fire pit outside, and we're gonna have some nice little family time, and the kids are gonna roast marshmallows, so that's always a fun time. Right now I'm still sitting at a pretty solid 60-pound weight loss. I'm at about 258. And one thing that's frustrating, I guess, at this particular weight is that this is the lowest pretty much that I've ever gotten in the past, easily the past 10 years, and I haven't been able to get past this point. So this is one of those plateau areas, and I'm definitely feeling the plateau. So I'm thinking that this week, I start belly dancing next week. I've already signed up for it. I'm really excited, so that'll be some really good exercise. I'm planning on, hopefully I can make it into the gym to get some cardio in. And then I'm going to, I think, juice a lot this week. I have to go get some more stuff from, Sam's Club or something, kind of high bulk. I made a homemade V8, which is actually not very good. It was a little heavy on the beets, and, I kind of had to thin that out a little bit. But I made it, so I'm going to drink it. But the jalapeno in it will definitely get you going for sure. So I think if I just up the liquids and I juice and just up my activity, that I should be able to get over this hurdle. It's just one of those things where for anybody, when you're trying to lose weight or even trying to gain weight, sometimes you hit these plateaus and it can take months to get out of it, and it's so frustrating sometimes. But I'm not going to beat myself up about it. It is what it is. I'm at the lowest weight I've been in 10 years. I'm uh, just under 4 months out, and so I can't really complain. In 4 months I've lost 60 pounds, so I'd say that's pretty good. Um, it's not a constant incline. It's more like do 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 so it's definitely one of those things. And then plus with the big party that we just had for Halloween, I didn't really eat much, like, while I was like during the course of the party, but I was definitely picking at stuff a lot when I was making things, so that will do it. And then my husband and one of my friends made these really spicy gluten-free gingerbread cookies for me, and they're so amazing. And I had like all this extra dough, so I just keep making like one or two cookies, which is nice because then it's kind of nice to have the dough, because then I could just have that one or two cookie and be cool with it, and it's really low sugar. So it's not as bad for you as maybe some other things are. But the point is I've been noshing a little bit too much, and I kind of need to kickstart my metabolism and kind of get things going again, because I still have, I'm only at like the halfway point. Like, I still have some time to go, and I'm really hoping to maybe lose another 10, hopefully another 10 pounds by Thanksgiving. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. And Thanksgiving, that should be a whole other thing. Oh, one other thing I wanted to talk about was hair loss. Now, you can't really tell because I have really super thick hair, but I actually had my hair thinned out before my friend's wedding, and the amount of hair that came off of my head was enough to make a wig. And it was still an inch thick, just pulling it in a ponytail. And a lot of it is starting to kind of fall out and stuff. But I mean, as you can see, I have such thick hair that it's not exactly a huge issue. But I feel it kind of coming out and stuff. I just want to let people know. There's more hair. Mom. Hi. Hi. Say hi. Hi. Okay. Go back outside to Daddy. I'll be right there. Okay. Okay. That was my 4-year-old. Anyway, I'm still sitting at a 60-pound weight loss, and I feel pretty good overall. I'm, wearing some of the smallest sizes I've worn in a long time. There's still, obviously I'm definitely still a plus size. I'm like an 18-20 right now. But in somebody who's almost 6 foot tall, it looks a little bit different than maybe somebody who's like 5'3" at the same weight. So I can actually go to a normal store and buy a pair of pants now, which is nice. And then some of my other clothes, like I have some shirts that are basically dresses on me at this point, and thanks to my friend Crystal, she found a really nice gem up on YouTube excuse me, about how to basically make your own laces and lace it into shirts and stuff and make it into a cool like shirt dress. And I have a couple of shirts that I cannot wait to do that too. And then that way, even though, you know, I'm kind of like the magically shrinking woman, now I can kind of alter my clothes, and if anything, it makes them a little bit more punk rock, which is awesome because, you know, the better my clothes look, the better I like them. So then that way that gives me, you know, maybe an alternative to simply getting rid of my clothes and buying new ones, which I don't really want to do a whole lot of if I don't have to. I mean, I realize that at some point I'm going to have to, but you know, I can alter my own clothes or I can turn them into something else. Or luckily I have my mom, you know, yeah, I have to ship my clothes, you know, over to her, but, you know, she is willing to alter some of my clothing for me. So, I know that there are definitely some, alternative, solutions to simply buying a whole new wardrobe. Although I'd like to, you know, buy new clothes, but I estimate that it will probably take a year. I'm only 4 months out, mind you. And I realistically feel that in order to lose the entire amount of weight that I want to lose to get exactly where I want to be, it will take about a year. Now, for the first 3 months, I lost that 60 pounds and I got to that point, and that was kind of the easy part. Now I'm to the part where I need to start working at it, you know. I feel like I can eat more. I have to watch myself on the constant snacking, you know, because when your stomach is so small, you can only eat so much at one time, right? But then you get into this habit of these little snacks on a regular basis, and um, that can be really dangerous too. And I think that may be one of the reasons why my weight loss has sort of stagnated lately, is just because I've been snacking just a little too much. I mean, it hasn't gone up, and that's good. So, you know, that's great. And then I just wanted to say thank you to everybody on the Halloween party. I don't, I got a lot of compliments about my weight, and how I looked and whatnot. I mean, you know, my makeup was all crazy and stuff too, so I think that was a big part of it. But I realized afterwards that there were a lot of people who hadn't seen me for like 6 months, and that was about 75 pounds ago. And so you don't really realize, I think, when you look in the mirror every day, the changes that happen in you and how your looks change and whatnot until you realize that you're around people that haven't seen you in such a long time, and for them it looks incredibly dramatic. So and really I have lost a pretty good amount of weight since my surgery. So I also have a massage client who is roughly about a week out from her gastric bypass, and I'm going to see her next week, and I'm so excited for her. I mean, what a journey, really. You know, even if you have these moments of stagnation, the revelations that you have psychologically, not to mention emotionally and physically, are just beyond anything that you can possibly imagine. Your confidence goes way up. You know, you have these interesting personality changes, and you just, I don't know, you find inspiration in some of the smallest things now, you know. So I would say overall things are good. I have my moments, obviously, where I go, oh, I wish I could eat that. You know, man, it's been a long time since I've had a crescent roll. Can't have a crescent roll anymore. You know, even if it weren't, you know, just a fatty piece of bread, I have a gluten problem. I can't have gluten at all, and it has no nutritional value whatsoever, so I have like no reason to eat one. So, you know, that makes me sad sometimes. But it is what it is, you know, and I feel excellent. I'm following a primarily paleo diet, although I do eat beans, you know, and I do occasionally eat cheese, even though I shouldn't because I'm lactose intolerant. But my lactose intolerance is pretty low compared to, you know, my gluten intolerance. The gluten intolerance is just awful. Like, I'm getting sick from the smallest things that have gluten in them. So it's really a serious problem. Yeah, I guess I should wrap this up so I can go hang out with the family and, you know, do some marshmallows, and maybe I might be able to get away with eating one as long as I don't overdo it. So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. I'll talk to you later.